Oh, hang on. Ugh. It's a little springy. What's up, everyone? Today, move this camera just a tad bit closer. Today, everyone, I am going to do the latest books for you guys. And I'm actually first going to show you one book that I actually put up, but I thought that I would show it anyway, which is Myth, another Alex Ross art book. And I have this pressly wrapped, or it's actually called Mythology. Pretty cool book. Definitely one that I'm sure those of you that like Alex Ross can get some. I'm going to move on to the actual books that I had wanted to getting around to reviewing actually, but first I'm going to show a neat little party game that I actually had got way back during Christmas, or last Christmas, and that is this. Obsessed with Marvel. This is awesome. This is like a factoid for every Marvel fan. Who wrote who did what. Nice little party favor game if you guys want to ever play something with your friends and test to see how nerdy you are. And so on and so forth. DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics, done by the legendary Denny O'Neil. I'm still learning a couple of things from this book, at least in terms of writing comic books, but also it's good for structure sentencing. Great book for those of you that want to try to break into the comic book industry like me and want to create something good and fun. Or it's just fun all around. Now to get on to my last documentary book, The Great Comic Book Superheroes. This book is great because Jules Feiffer, I think is how you pronounce his name. This guy does really good. This guy was really good. He went in depth with a lot of the pulp characters, like the Spirit and Superman and what have you. And he basically explained kind of how they had an impact on pop culture, but he also talked about future characters. He talked about stuff from the Golden Age to like the World War II era to stuff during like the Silver Age and the Comic Book Authority. This is basically a factoid. This isn't so much about comic books in general like I thought. It focuses more on the pulp superheroes, but nevertheless, it was a pretty good and interesting read. Definitely recommend it for those of y'all that like history. And I actually found a series of books. Let me actually find them. Some I actually haven't even read, honestly. Kick it off, I guess, with Hercules. Now, I love these graphic universe books. These basically take historical tales and myths and legends from around the world and basically translate them into comic book form. This is one, of course, that Chris, aka Mount Vernon Kid, will love. Big, huge Herc fan. And they did a mythology version of Hercules' 12 Labors. Yeah, so the 12 Labors of Hercules. They did one based on the mythological version of Thor and Loki, which was in the Land of the Giants. And they got many, many others. Perseus, The Hunt for Medusa's Head, Beowulf, Monster Slayer, And I'm going to read the back of these, some of them. Alibaba, Fooling the 40 Thieves, Amaterasu, Return of the Sun, Arthur and Lancelot, The Fight for Camelot. You get the point. They basically just take all these characters. I'm actually going to set these off to the side because I'm going to read these after I'm done. But they basically take these books and they translate the myths and legends into comic book form. And these things are not really, they're not really expensive. They're like maybe $4 or $5, probably $6. Very inexpensive books. Very inexpensive. At least to me, that is. And here's a character that Ziploc Gory likes and who I kind of like as a female character, but I think I'm going to reintroduce myself with this. But I got Volume 1 of Witchblade. Gonna try my hand at Witchblade, because I never really read very few things featuring Witchblade, so give this a shot. Let's show this off. But from what I did skim through, it was decent. It was okay. Wasn't too bad, but I'll give it a reread. Todd McFarlane and Robert Kirkman's Haunt. Their collaborational child. This, a lot of people like Spawn, and don't get me wrong, I like Al Simmons, but I like Haunt more. And I cannot wait to see, I can't wait to try to get Volume 2 when it goes down in price, because I managed to get this as part of a book deal on Amazon. So, but I loved this. I definitely got to collect more of Haunt, because this was good. Definitely a good Image character that I would want to read about. Here's a Dark Horse comic, which is Conan the Barbarian, The Mask of Akron. And for those of you that look at this and you're like, this looks like they did after the movie, this is actually the movie novelization. This is the actual movie novelization comic. So this is kind of cool. This gave me a heads up as to what to expect in the movie. But I digged it. Spider-Man Venom vs. Carnage. Now this was awesome. It's been a while since I've read anything with Venom or Carnage in Spider-Man. It's been a while since I've read a good Spider-Man story, period. Or any Spider-Man story for that matter. And this also gave the birth of Toxin. So this was pretty good. This was really good. And I gotta say, Clayton Crane, the guy who actually illustrated this, he illustrates it very interestingly, shall we say. It's a lot like the Garth Ennis kind of late Spawn. Sorry, I was completely held up and what have you. The art style in this book definitely reminds me of Garth Ennis's Ghost Rider. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, just look it up. But pretty good. Pretty good nevertheless. I loved it. Add this actually to a pile. Try to cover this up here. That way YouTube isn't saying that I don't try to be PC. But Garth Ennis is the pro. Speaking of Garth Ennis, this book, all I'm gonna say is that Garth Ennis is one messed up man. Truly messed up. But this book was hilarious. Was a hilarious satire spoof on the superhero genre. But this is not for the weary. There is strong sexual content, strong violence, a lot of really just messed up things. But if you're able to stomach all that, then I definitely recommend this book. You will get a good laugh, and you will definitely be as shocked as I was when you read this. Just the ending of this book, wow. That's all I can say is just wow. I actually want to show you guys something cool. And this is an old book that I had as a birthday gift. Marvel, their characters, and their universe. And yes, this book, it's not even a book, it's a fucking tome. But this tome is basically everything that you want to know about the Marvel Universe, like the X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, other obscure characters like Silver Surfer and what have you. They're all detailed in this book. Like, not every character, but like the main characters that everybody recognizes from Marvel. Definitely a big punch in your wallet. But just the data that they talk about, especially with pop culture, and not even pop culture, but just the history of the characters, and just kind of their influences, and what have you, it was good. It was really good. And I'm going to actually show you two books that are part of my Lesser Known But Awesome Heroes catalog. And one of them is the updated and expanded Marvel Encyclopedia. This has literally every character up to date since, like, I would say 2007, 2008. Maybe slightly further back, but still. Big, massive book. Big, massive book. And I have the counterpoint to that, which is the DC Encyclopedia. Holy crap. These are some big frickin' tomes. And real quickly before I do the last book, I want to get you guys' opinion. Those of you that watch my Lesser Known But Awesome Hero stuff, I forgot to mention this in the Bronze Tiger and Shang-Chi video, but what do you guys think? Do you think I should maybe perhaps take a lot of the older ones, like say the Doom Patrol and Dead Man, ones that I really didn't, that I used to shoot straight at my laptop before having the Windows Movie Maker that I did? Do you guys think that I should do, shall we say, like reboots of those? Like maybe try to do them the way that I'm doing them now? Or do you think that it'd be kind of pointless? That maybe I should just leave them as is? You know, let me know in the comment box of this video, and let me know what you guys think, of whether I should do it or not, because I'm debating if I should or not. But I want to be sure. Now finally, yes, the last of my collection, Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite on Slave Island. And all I can say is that just, if you guys love the movie Black Dynamite like me and F.W. Waller do, then man, you gotta get this book. All I'm gonna say, Black Dynamite killing a shark with its own fin. That's all enough said there. Hell, I think every time you should open the comic, it should do that dynamite, dynamite, you know, that theme song deal that whenever Michael Jai White used to come in. But that's it, guys. That's all the books. that I have, at least for this week. So that should tide y'all over for a bit, at least until I get some new ones or choose to. And, you know, look forward to bringing y'all more books in the future, if and when I get around to it. So, peace.